because they were happy that they had put something in something and got a positive result. And reviewing the film, obviously, I think that we always have to be able to focus on taking advantage of opportunities that we have. We also have to focus on making sure that we learn the lessons of things that we do that actually help the other team have opportunities in the game as well. So those are all lessons to be learned. I think the focus needs to be on our team, what our team needs to do to each individual on our team and each unit on our team. What do we need to do to improve? What do we need to do to try to do a better job with consistency and execution in terms of what we do as coaches, as well as how we get the players to stay focused so that we can execute with more consistency. Great to see Byron Young, SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week. He had a heck of a game. Will Reichert made some real key clutch kicks in the game. It's great for those guys to get recognized. Austin Pay, Scotty Walden does a really, really good job there. For FCS, these guys are ranked, in the top part of their division and just about everything they do. They're really good on defense. They got one of the top 10 defenses. They average 450 yards a game on offense with a lot of balance. Quarterback does a really good job with them. Number 10, McCray, is a really explosive player that they do a good job of utilizing his talents. They got good returner. Look, we need to prepare for this game like any other game that we play. We need to be ready to play well. They have enough people on their team to be able to take advantage of any lack of execution, and certainly we want to focus on us being able to execute, in a really positive way and try to build on the momentum of, having a good second half and improving to finish the season.
All right, so
Coach, you've talked throughout the season about the emphasis placed on turnovers. Is there something maybe you can pinpoint as a reason you guys have had so few of those this season?
I can't. It comes down to player awareness. It comes down to player focus. It comes down to, on defense, you got to be physical. When you're physical, you knock the ball off of people. When you have good cleanup, which means a lot of guys are getting to the ball, second guy in has a chance to take a shot at the ball. All these things are things that we emphasize, and we actually did better in this last game, but only got the result of one turnover. Had another chance to intercept the ball and didn't make the catch, but we just got to keep harping on it and keep working on it with our players to work on how do you get the ball out, when do you take shots at it, and try to do it better, because this is something that has a significant impact on games, and we need to do a better job in that regard.
How do you describe the vision and the footwork of Bryce Young in the pocket when the protection breaks down and he has to make things happen?
Well, we had 3 or 4 of our explosive plays, in the game where, whatever you want to call him, moving in the pocket, making people miss in the pocket. He's deceptively quick to make people miss, especially if they're coming out of control. But he does a fantastic job of having a feel in the pocket of when he needs to do it, and he's very good at doing it. And his ability to extend plays, and then our receivers have done a really good job when he does scramble, of applying scramble rules to get where they need to get, so they have an opportunity to make themselves available for the ball. So that was good for us in the game. I mean, I think we made 3 or 4 big plays on that kind of thing.
Up front, Nick Kelly.
What would you say is the next step in Ja'Cory Brooks's development?
Ja'Cory Brooks has played really well for us. Guy's a dog. He plays great on special teams. He'll block. He's physical. Plays hard all the time. Makes contested catches. I'm sure that if you ask him, there's always things that you can improve on. whether it's releases, separating at the top of the break, whatever. And I'm sure there's things that he can improve on, but he's one of the guys on our team that I think is a great competitor who has really played consistently all year long for us.
Left side with Katie.
Coach Brian Branch obviously had the stop on the fourth down play, but just kind of what kind of weapons he been in the defensive backfield all season and just kind of his versatility?
Brian Branch is he's a very versatile player. He's got good cover skills. He's physical. He's a good blitzer. For the most part, he's a good tackler. Although on the long run at the end of the game, he missed the tackle. But I think he's a really, really good competitor. And his versatility as a player, playing star, playing safety, playing money, is it's. If you don't have a few guys like that on your team, then you don't have any diversity in what you can do on defense. So, and I think he's played extremely well for us and very consistently all year long.
Back here.
Hi, Coach. When some of those end of season goals are off the table, what's the biggest challenge in getting your team to play with that same consistency and intensity throughout the end of the season?
Well, I think it comes down to a lot of the things that we talked about last week in terms of, are you going to define your identity as a football player and as a football team, or are you going to let other people do it? Being the best that you can be as a player, taking some of the things that have happened to us personally in terms of your pride as a competitor and the consistency in our performance are all things that if you are a competitor, you're going to respond. And I think our players did that in this game. Now, the challenge is are we going to continue it to finish the season?
Up front here with Tony.
What did you see from Terry and Arnold kind of stepping in for Eli against Ole Miss, and just what have you, his ability to kind of just do that off the bench?
Well, I mean, you saw the game. I think Terry on Arnold plays really well when he plays with good technique. I think when he has bad habits in his technique, which I'm not going to get into specifically, he allows the other guy to, take advantage of him on release and doesn't always put him in a great position to play the ball. But he actually played better as the game went on. The guy has been a starter for us for, half the season. So he's got experience. He should be able to go out there and play with confidence, and we have confidence in him. But I also think he's got to stay focused on doing things correctly because it helps him be able to put himself in the best position.
Two more. We'll start with Mike Rodak.
We saw Tyler Harrell get into the game briefly on Saturday. Just where does he stand with his health and just his comfort level with the offense?
Yeah, well, he's learning. He's healthy now. He's learning. He's getting lots of reps. Guy's got really good speed, which I think would help us on offense. And I think, we need to, find ways to try to, use him in certain situations that can be helpful to giving us some explosive vertical plays down the field, which there's, been a lack of recently. And, he's making really good progress.
Go to Joey. Finish up over there.
Hey, Coach. You talked last week on Hey, Coach about unsung heroes, and you mentioned guys specifically like Byron Young and Kendrick Law. Not necessarily those guys specifically, but in general, how important are guys like that to contribute to the team that don't necessarily share the same spotlight?
Well, I think it's important to have a whole team of guys like that. I think if everybody's putting the team first and want to do what they can do to help develop themselves so that they create value for their future and opportunities in their future, as well as whatever their role is on the team, do it the best you can do it so the team has the best chance to sort of develop the kind of personality as well as the intangibles that you need to be a great competitor. And look, there's a lot of distractions out there, and guys have to choose to focus on the right thing. Can't worry about all the stuff. You've heard me talk about it before, external noise, rat poison, whatever you want to talk, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. when you step on the field to compete, you need to be focused on what you need to do to play the best you can to dominate your box against whatever the challenge is, whether you're an offensive lineman, a defensive back, a linebacker, it doesn't matter. And that's a challenge. It's more challenging now than it's ever been before. But it's important for guys that aren't starters on your team, don't even know if they're going to play, to get ready to play so they can take advantage of the opportunity when they do play. Because those opportunities will come at some point, and sometimes it's when you least expect them. And some of the young guys on our team have done a much better job of that this year than I thought some of the guys did in years past. All right, thank you.
Nick Saban press conferences on 97.7 ESPN The Zone is brought to you by McCurry Van and Car Rental. Our locations in Athens and Huntsville can serve your driving needs. Whether you need a car for 2 days or a passenger van for 2 weeks, we've got you covered. Rent local, rent McCurry Van and Car.
Can you get me a little typeset?
Now, funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
You're tired.
Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the Junkyard Dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a Reaction Monday in the Doghouse. It's a macaroni Monday here on this lunchtime edition of the Thom Abraham Show. Grizz is in the back finishing up some of that Kraft macaroni and cheese. I thought he was going to go with something like Big Ziti or a nice lasagna, but I guess he's not quite ready for that. So he's got the Kraft macaroni and cheese going over there. Look, we got so much to cover today. Another huge Saturday. Nick Saban, you just heard him talking about the win over Ole Miss. Certainly nice to get that win over Ole Miss. He didn't cover the 11.5 points. He doesn't care about that. He wants to get the win. He was asked about Terrion Arnold. It was interesting when he said, when Terrion doesn't use bad habits, yeah, that's his bad habits right there. It's Terrion Arnold. Grab. Yeah. All he does is grab. But he talked about the game coming up this week against Austin Peay. Of course, we all know that Austin Peay is a Austin
Peay.
Who the hell is Austin Peay? I mean, not for nothing, but I mean,
Guy's a dog.
I know that some of these games that you play, you're playing against teams that are, you got to play these cupcake games, apparently. You got to have this cupcake game right before the Iron Bowl. But really, you're going to play Austin Peay? I mean, you're going to...
Austin Peay.
You're going to play a school that you don't even know the name of. I mean, that's where they're at right now, as far as the cupcake game goes. They're playing a school that they don't even know the name of. It's Austin Peay. Just in case you didn't know. Anyway,
Austin Peay.
Another huge Saturday. Last Saturday, not this Saturday. And there is still a recipe for some major chaos. We'll take a look into that. And it was an absolutely bonkers day in the NFL yesterday. I mean, with that Vikings-Bills game, just nuts. I don't think I've ever seen an ending like that, to be honest with you. For the love of me. I don't think I've ever seen something like that. I don't understand why Buffalo doesn't take the safety there and make that a 2-point game. I mean, sure, I understand that a field goal now beats you if you do that, but the ball is like on the 6-inch line. And if anything bad happens, you got bigger problems. So you take the safety, you go to the 20-yard line, You kick a squib kick from there. They get it at the 35? They got 30 seconds and no timeouts. That surprised me. I don't get it. But that catch by Jordan Jefferson on 4th and 18, you got to be kidding me. I mean, you got to be kidding me with that catch. That catch has spurred a poll question. Is it the greatest catch in history? Look, I know there's a lot of great catches. I know the Julio Jones one on the sideline. I know Swan, Lynn Swan floating through the air in Soup 10. I get all of that. I put 3 up on the poll question. Best catch ever? Odell in 2015 with the one-hander against the Giants falling backwards. Jordan Jefferson against the Bills. David Tyree's helmet catch. Those are the 3 that are up right now. And I can tell you right now, David Tyree's helmet catch is leading the way. You know that was the last catch David Tyree ever made in the NFL? That was the last catch of his career. It wasn't like he was the end of a long career. The guy was a scrub. That was the last catch of David Tyree's career. The bubblegum catch. He had like a piece of bubblegum on his helmet, I think, and he stuck the ball to the bubblegum. It's just ridiculous. And, of course, we are aware of the horrific tragedy that took place on the Virginia campus late last night, where 3 football players were shot and killed by a former player who was a student. 2 other students were injured. It happened on a bus returning from a field trip where they had taken a bunch of kids to Washington, D.C. to see, I don't know if it was a play or a show or what it was, but they were on the way back from this field trip, and they were on campus, and this guy opened up. He shot and killed these 3 football players and shot a couple of other students that are injured. The shooter is in custody. As of the last hour, no motive is known. I mean, it's just awful. It's just absolutely awful. I have no idea. And the 3 players, for whatever it's worth, were contributors. One of them had 18 catches, I think, on the season. Another one had a few tackles, was a special teams player. But that's not what's important. What's important is that you can't go to a field trip on a Sunday with your fellow students and have the reasonable expectation that you could get home safely and that somebody else on the bus isn't going to open fire on you. It's just terrible. Terrible. Thoughts and prayers with the families and everybody associated with that program. I hate that. All right, if you know what you want to talk about, the phone lines are open, 256-576-4977. You can text the show, 732-9TA show, 732-982-7469, which is a tremendous way to communicate with us. My Twitter feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN. We're on the Facebook at 97.7 ESPN as well. You can watch the show in both of those locations. Now, from what I can see on the Twitter, you can't see my hoodie that I'm wearing today. But I'll try and maybe if I back up a little bit, see if you can. That's a vintage Vipers football hoodie, right there, given to me by Kevin Guy. I want to say Kevin Guy. I should have worn it tomorrow when Tom Luganville will be joining us. All right. Remember, you can also watch on the Twitch and YouTube at WZZN TV. All right. Follow us on the Twitch and subscribe on the YouTube and get notifications there and get our apps. You need our apps, both of them, the Zone and the Blitz, where you can get links to Zone 2, Zone 3, and Zone 4 as well. There's not a Zone. There's not a Blitz 2, Blitz 3, Blitz 4. Not yet. Not yet, Wes. Not yet. It could be at some point, but not right now. And then there was one. After Madison Academy got dumped on Friday by Sylvania, that is an upset, right? I mean, that had to be an upset. Madison Academy is out of the 3A playoffs. Randolph is the only one of our teams that is left in the playoffs after their 10-point win over Dora. Now they get Cherokee County in the 3rd round this week. Where is that game? Is that back at Randolph or is that at Cherokee County? Might be at Cherokee County. They're both 10-2 now on the season. Austin Coletti and Drew DeArmond are on that game. But with the Bama and UAH basketball plus the Havoc, you're going to want to have all our channels because you never know what's going on where. You want to have all of our channels. So make sure you get that. Coming up in just a few minutes, Damon Amendolara from CBS Sports Radio will join us with his thoughts on yesterday's Nuts action, some college football thoughts, and then later in the one, Auburn captain, tight end John Samuel Schenker joining us courtesy of Valley Equipment Rental. So good to talk to that dude off of a win, finally. We'll get to what the future will bring as well. But look, it took OT to beat them in Starkville, and then they get this win over a totally dysfunctional A&M team. I mean, maybe that NIL has created a huge problem in the Aggie locker room. I don't know. But they really are stuck with Jimbo Fisher. I mean, that contract, the $86 million buyout, it's cost prohibitive, isn't it? It's cost prohibitive. All right, over there in the little glass booth, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax and answering the phones, keeping us on the air. As always, doing a tremendous job. It's DJ Grizzy Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Now, Tom. Hey, Tom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say. Any of you play sports?
Grizzalicious off the 5-1 week. Great job at you. You now pull within one game of me. 5-1. The only game you missed was the Bama game. Yeah. I went 4-2 and beat the big dog. I missed on Mizzou. Oh my God, did they get the break speed off of them? And I missed on the Bills. You did have the Vikings and the Packers in the NFL. You pulled that out of your rectum because the Bills were controlling that game.
Yeah, I was feeling good kind of early, and then they kind of pulled away at halftime, and I was like, oh, man, here we go again with the Vikings. Like,
Our listener, Bama James, went 3-3. So I continue to close in on the listeners, all right? So I am now just one game back of the listeners. You are one game back of me, Grizz, so that's not bad.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I've been picking up some speed, picking up some momentum, these last couple of weeks for sure. And I got kind of lucky. I was really feeling that Tennessee Missouri game and really feeling the Alabama game. I thought maybe, but I thought early on it was going to be back and forth. So I was just like, oh well, I already lost that one. So
yeah. All right, we'll get a break in here. Later on, we'll update you on what happened in the trifecta. A bunch of you got points in the trifecta, and I'll explain where everybody sits now in that. But we're going to get a break in here because Coach Saban took our first 12 minutes. And when we return, Damon Amendolara will join us next right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
Men, are you asking yourself questions like, why am I gaining fat? Why is my energy or sex drive down? And maybe you haven't been getting the exercise you need. If you want to get back to the man you used to be, but just don't have that youthful energy, that edge you once had, you very well might have low testosterone. Low T causes all kinds of issues, from a reduced libido, lower drive, and bad sleep patterns, to problems with muscle gain and bone density, and more. It may even contribute to erectile dysfunction. And if this sounds like you, it's probably time to get treated for your low T. At the Huntsville Men's Clinic, we've treated many men for low T. We've seen them put on muscle, add to their energy, improve their sex lives, get better sleep, and just feel better. Plus, if you're like most men, you'll see results in only a few weeks. So make an appointment today and experience how low testosterone therapy can truly change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. Call today, 256-368-0333. That's 256-368-0333. Or go to HuntsvilleMen'sClinic.com. That's HuntsvilleMen'sClinic.com.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Attorney Tommy Sinyard on behalf of Sinyard Law, and again, proud to be a sponsor of All Things Football here on ESPN Radio. My son Bart and I started our own law firm July 1 and are very proud and excited to be bringing you our 50 years of collective national award-winning injury trial law experience. Check us out on the web, sinyardlaw.com.
Sinyard Law, nationally recognized, locally respected.
Do you know that your car or truck or SUV may be worth up to 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and now is the perfect time to trade in and trade up to a gold certified or blue certified pre-owned car, truck, SUV, or crossover. While our new vehicle inventory continues to build back, our Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned vehicles are nearing 100 models to choose from, and a good variety too. Woody Anderson Ford Gold certified vehicles are 6 years or younger with less than 80,000 miles and have passed 172-point inspection by factory certified technicians. They have a 14-day, 1,000-mile money-back guarantee, a great comprehensive limited warranty, 24-hour roadside assistance, and go home with full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. Get nearly a new ride and none of the worries. Woody Anderson Ford, Jordan at Sparkman. Hope to see you soon.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures well below where we should be in mid-November. Highs only climbing into the mid-50s, dropping into the upper 30s and lower 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Tuesday morning. Showers, maybe even a couple of isolated thunderstorms build into the Tennessee Valley Monday night, early Tuesday morning. A lot of that activity is going to stick with us in some capacity through the Tuesday morning commute. Might I suggest allowing yourself a couple of extra minutes. Looks like the vast majority of that activity is going to be out of here by the time we get to the lunch hour. Temperatures climbing just into the upper 40s and lower 50s, dropping into the mid-30s through the overnight, early Wednesday morning. Mostly cloudy sky Wednesday afternoon, temperatures hanging out just in the mid-upper 40s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now more of the Thom Abraham Show on your home for Crimson Tide Sports, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
What happened? What happened to the fall? I mean, we had remember we had that week of everything was in the 60s and 70s and it was like fall and it was beautiful. And then it went back to summer. And we had, 80 degrees last week, and every day was 75, 80 degrees. And then the weather dude just said 45 degrees tomorrow? And it was like 29 degrees last night? What happened?
It's hunting weather, though.
It's the middle of winter. I mean, that's like, what is that?
That's definitely hunting weather, though, that's for sure. Feels good.
Hunting weather. Yeah, hunting for a pillow and a heavy blanket. That's what I'm hunting for. Hunting weather. They give you a hunting weather. That's just nuts. All right, welcome back to Tom Abraham Show. Join us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, a guy who does a tremendous job for CBS Sports Radio, morning show guy there, and it's just outstanding and really everything he does. I mean, I've watched this kid's career since he was 17 years old, and I couldn't be prouder of what he has done and more amazed at what he has done. He's a tremendous friend as well. He's Damon Amendolara, and he joins us now. DA, welcome back. How are you?
Big Dog, I'm doing good. I couldn't be doing any better. I actually am on my way back, driving back from Buffalo. I was at that insane game yesterday, Vikings
Oh, my
Bills.
gosh.
And even though the Bills lost, that was my first experience with the Bills Mafia since '99 when I was still in college. So I just had the absolute best time, and I got to really endure the torture of being a Bills fan in just a 3.5-hour period. I got it all.
Did they begin fighting with each other at the end of the game? Because my experience with the Bills fan in the past, and I tell you what, the last Bills game I was at was Don Shula's last game ever when he lost in the playoffs to the Buffalo Bills there. And I have not been there. We had about a foot of snow. And, we had to wipe off the seats to sit in there. Everybody wearing snowsuits and hunting gear and everything else. But typically my experience at many, many Buffalo games and being from Western New York was that if you beat them, they begin fighting amongst themselves.
No, didn't see any of that. I did see one little dust-up in line to go to the bathroom, but that was actually not when they were losing at the end. It was when they still led. I think mostly yesterday was walking out of a stadium going, what just happened? I think people felt like they just got hit by a sledgehammer between the eyes and the forehead, because there was potentially five different moments where really the Bills only had to make one play. And if they make the play, they win the football game. And they went 0 for 5, and that's how you lose that game. It's almost impossible to have lost that game with as many chances as the Vikings had down to their last breath, and the Bills just gave it away.
Did you come out of this with a renewed or a new, maybe not renewed, but new appreciation for the Vikings? One of our listeners has a little bet on the Vikings to win the Super Bowl, and he got incredible odds at the beginning of the season. So every week he calls us and he goes nuts over the fact that the Vikings are winning, and he thinks they're going to win the Super Bowl, and he's going to make $4,000 on like a $3 bet or something. But did you come out of this feeling like, A, the Vikings are really good, or B, the Vikings have a horseshoe up their ass?
Well, they're resilient, no doubt about it. It was a 27-10 game yesterday. Obviously, it's a 90% pro-Bills crowd, maybe 80%. There was actually a good number of Vikings fans that made the trek. We saw them all around the city over the weekend. But, that's a tough place to play. It was a cold, windy kind of November day, classic November day in Western New York. So not easy to come back when you're down 17, not easy to throw the football down 17. And the fact that they did make those plays, I give them credit for being resilient. I think, though, that really Justin Jefferson's the difference maker, and he's just such an elite wide receiver. Every play he made yesterday is probably not made by any other wide receiver, but the 4th and 18 specifically is, again, one of those plays. The moment that ball gets knocked down, incomplete, the Bills are going to win the football game. But sure. Jefferson somehow made the catch of the year, the catch of the last 5 years, the best catch since Odell, a better catch than Odell, I don't know. And that happened so many times yesterday that, do I trust Kirk Cousins in an NFC Championship game, a Super Bowl? No, but hell, I mean, Justin Jefferson makes Kirk Cousins a lot more dangerous, and so does Dalvin Cook. So I give them credit because they definitely proved something yesterday. I just still don't believe they're Super Bowl winning worthy.
Our poll question today: best NFL catch ever. Which is saying a lot. Now you say best since Odell. I only put 3 up. I didn't put others up. I didn't put, Julio had a great one along the sideline. Of course, Lynn Swann in the Super Bowl. But I put 3 up. And the 3 I put up are Odell in 2015, which is getting 17.4%. Jordan Jefferson yesterday, which is getting 30.4%, and the David Tyree helmet catch, which is getting 52.2%, is the greatest catch in NFL history. How would you vote that?
So yesterday's Justin Jefferson catch, I'm really worried about everybody weighing in today and it's being just such recency bias. I mean, it just happened. But I actually think it's the most difficult degree of difficulty, the highest degree of difficulty with skill involved. My point is, like, the David Tyree catch is more historically significant, obviously, but it's also more lucky. I mean, Tyree's not a great wide receiver. He's just falling to the turf. The ball happens to be on his helmet, and he happens to clutch it against his helmet. Yeah. That's not because Kyrie is a great player. Odell's catch is because Odell, certainly at that time, athletically more gifted than maybe, how many others could ever pull that off. The body control, staying in bounds, bending backwards, aesthetically it's the most beautiful. I think yesterday's degree of difficulty with skill is the highest of the three, because he's got to do what Odell did, but he's also got to beat the defensive back from ripping it away. So he's fighting a defender as he does what Odell did against air. So I think out of those three, the best catch, not the most significant, but the best catch is actually Jefferson.
The Tyree one, I mean, it's 3rd and 5. See, that was 4th and 18 yesterday. I mean, that's it. That's ball game. I mean, that was 4th and 18. The Tyree one's in the Super Bowl, and it's 3rd and 5. They're going for it on 4th and 5 if they don't get it. Plus you add in the Eli Manning escape, which was incredible, and the fact that Tyree is a special teamer. You know that's the last catch he ever made in his career. I mean, he had 4 catches in 2007. He had that catch in the Super Bowl. Never caught another ball in the NFL. Pinning that ball to his helmet. One of a Hall of Fame. Is Rodney in the Hall of Fame yet? I don't know if he is. He should be. Rodney Harrison on his back. Super Bowl, right? I mean, man, that's a hell of a play.
Yeah, and it's also the undefeated Patriots thing and the Cinderella Giants thing and fourth quarter of a Super Bowl. There's just so much that gets cooked into the Tyree catch that it's probably the most significant historical catch in NFL history. But, let's also put Santonio Holmes at the end of the Super Bowl against the Cardinals in there.
That was great.
An insane catch. But, yesterday is just, it's certainly one of the great regular season catches ever, because it won't have the same significance as a Super Bowl catch, but in terms of just its greatness, it's insane. It's totally insane.
So Odell, Jarvis Landry, Jamar Chase, Jordan Jefferson. Is there a college? And Alabama's had some great running backs, the Derrick Henry, and there's been others, Mark Ingram's had a really nice career and some other. But is there another school that has been more dominant at one position than LSU has been with wide receivers in the NFL?
First of all, I love that you call Justin Jefferson George Jefferson, because now I'm picturing Justin Jefferson doing the George Jefferson dance in like a 1970s leisure suit as he and Weezy are moving on up. That's such a good image. No, not right now. I mean, right now, the amount of talent that LSU's pumped out at wide receiver is insane. I mean, Alabama's had a hell of a run as well at wide receiver recently. But in terms of the dynamic playmaking, it's outrageous. I guess you could probably speak to this a little bit better than I could. Penn State's linebacker was Penn State of the 70s and 80s, I suppose, as good as LSU's pumping out wide receivers?
They had a run. Don't forget the one that's playing there now, Micah Parsons. I mean, they definitely did have a run at a particular point in time. And there were other schools that did great things. They had a bunch of good linebackers that came out of Miami at one point in time. We have seen guys come out of other schools, but I mean, right now it's just amazing. And with LSU too, you can also talk about defensive backs. They call themselves DBU. There's a fight over that as to who is DBU, and they call themselves that as well. The Chargers, they lose again last night. They got no home ice advantage anywhere. I mean, it's just ridiculous that they're in LA and they got to use silent counts and everything else. They certainly have talent, but something is wrong. It's either wrong with Justin Herbert or it's wrong with the coach. I don't know what the scenario is, but every year they're picked to be, the team, and now they're 5-4 again this year. What's your take on the Chargers?
Totally disappointing. They have all of this talent. We know they have all of this talent, but we also know they're going to be underwhelming and they're going to be disappointing. Same thing this year. And Brandon Staley last night had a quote that was like, hey, we're not into moral victories. We came here to get a W. That's the only thing that matters. But, I was really proud of the guys for playing toe-to-toe with a really tough team. And that's a really good team that we just played and lost to. And, we did this, that, and that. That's really good. And I'm proud of the guys. And it's like, man, there's Brandon Staley saying that there's no moral victories and yet trying to clearly say it wasn't as bad as it looked, which is obviously hypocritical. So I just don't like Staley. I find him very underwhelming, and I think that the Chargers are going to be right back in the crew of being 10-7 this year, last team into the playoffs in the AFC perhaps, losing wild card weekend, and us going, is this really the right coach? Are they wasting Justin Herbert's career? Because there's too much talent on that team. They've had some injuries, but there's too much talent for them to be 5-4. They have solved the quarterback position. They've got him on a rookie contract, and they still can't capitalize their 5-4.
The Miami Dolphins, Damon Amendolara with us here. The Miami Dolphins, they got to win over Buffalo to get to 3-0. Then they lost 3 straight. A lot of that without, Tua Tagovailoa in there at quarterback. Now they've won 4 in a row, and they literally are leading the AFC East. They're ahead of Buffalo in the AFC East at 7-3. Buffalo 6-3, and has lost a game to Miami. Now everybody wants to point to the schedule and say, well, yeah, it was Steelers, Lions, Bears, and Browns that they beat, and it was. And next up is Texans before they get into a little more difficult finish of their season. But are we buying on Miami? Are we buying on Tua, who is leading the NFL in a lot of categories right now, and looks like the Tua that was dominant, at Alabama?
I'm a notorious Tua doubter. I'm still a Tua doubter. And if we get to the playoffs, I don't want to bet on Tua Tagovailoa to go to Arrowhead and win. And I don't want to bet on Tua Tagovailoa to make more throws than a Patrick Mahomes in a big playoff game or a Joe Burrow in a big playoff game. But that being said, how do you make Tua great? You give him great weapons like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. You give him a great play caller in Mike McDaniel. And you give him a supporting cast where he doesn't have to do everything, and this is where he's soaring. And look at Jeff Wilson. I mean, yesterday Wilson was amazing, 117 yards on the ground, caught passes out of the backfield. He was a trade deadline acquisition. He was secondary to Bradley Chubb in a lot of people's minds, but he's been awesome. So I love the way the team is built. I love the weapons they have around them, and I love the play calling. So I think the Dolphins are legit. I don't believe that that's a team that could win a Super Bowl necessarily, but are they legit? Yeah, I think right now they're the best team in the AFC East. I think the Bills are playing poor football. Ultimately, I think the Bills would be better in January, but they're not proving it right now. And Allen had a sloppy day yesterday. So the fact that Tua is playing kind of a stake-free football right now and letting the guys just kind of run wild, it's great. It's great. The Dolphins are so much fun to watch. I mean, you can't slow down that offense.
So you're not feeling Dolphins, Vikings, Super Bowl IX Part 2. We're not going there. We're not going Bob Greasy throwing 7 passes in Super Bowl IX. We're not quite at that point yet.
I mean, the thing with today's NFL is that Super Bowl can't happen anymore. You cannot have an offense that's revolving around Larry Zonka. You can't have an offense that throws 9 times a game. So you have to have one of 2 things in the playoffs of the Super Bowl to win a Super Bowl. You either have to have an elite quarterback or a quarterback that plays elite. Now, that could be Nick Foles, that for one postseason, the guy was playing like a Hall of Fame quarterback. But you can't get by with an average quarterback or a slightly above average quarterback playing slightly above average. And so the question is, Tua or Kirk Cousins? So this is probably more of a question for Kirk Cousins since he's very established and we kind of know what he is. Is Kirk Cousins going to be elite play elite quarterbacks for 2 to 3 games in January and February. That's what happened to Joe Flacco.
Right.
Joe Flacco wasn't an elite quarterback for his career, but for those 4 games, he played, mind-blowingly great at quarterback. So do you believe Cousins can be Joe Flacco for 4 games? I don't think he can.
Yeah. David Amendolara with us here. All right, in Las Vegas, I have such mixed emotions about this because I really like Jeff Saturday, but I'm a former coach, and I really believe in coaching. And I think that coaches coach, players play. And for, to see an ex-player come out of, Bristol, Connecticut, and put his analyst suit down and pick up his hoodie and go out there and win an NFL football game, it shouldn't happen. It needs to be harder than that, that you just don't do that. Having said that, this whole scenario was so mind-blowing. The most mind-blowing part of it was the fact that Jim Irsay never called Tony Dungy, because you could have called somebody for 6 games, 8 games. You call Tony Dungy and you say, help me out the rest of the year and then help me hire a new coach. But he didn't. He called Jeff Saturday. Saturday puts Matt Ryan in there. The only reason Matt Ryan's in there is because they need somebody to call the plays, to be honest with you. They had nobody to call plays. What do I make of this whole thing with Jeff Saturday winning a game against Josh McDaniels in the L.A. Raiders, or Las Vegas Raiders, whatever the hell they are?
I thought Bill Cowher's comments yesterday were really powerful, and he said it was a disgrace to the coaching profession. And I tend to agree. I tend to think that it was disrespectful and disgraceful to do what he did. And that is first day hiring Jeff Saturday and jumping all the guys that have really committed their lives to that craft. So that being said, there's a different discussion. I think it's a two kind of parallel questions. One is, was it disrespectful? It was. The other question is, could it work? And it could work, I suppose, because a day like yesterday, the Raiders are so poorly coached and they're so poorly disorganized. You can actually beat a team like that as long as you're somewhat, organized. And I suppose the Colts were yesterday. It also, as you said, helps to have Matt Ryan in there instead of Sam Ehlinger. But then the second part is, if it goes bad and they lose 7 of these 8 or 6 of these 8, it positions them to where they really need is not a coach, it's a quarterback. So it's kind of best case scenario if they do lose, because they need one of these QBs in the draft. But in terms of the first part, I just don't like it. I feel like it was a buddy doing a favor for a buddy and spitting in the face of the people that really committed their life to this cause and becoming a coach. And I just can't imagine that it's easy to sit there in that office and have burned the midnight oil for 18-hour days. And Jeff Saturday's turned down assistant coaching jobs before, and then watch Jeff Saturday get to come in riding on a white horse and then hold game-winning press conference and be like, oh, yeah, it's great to win football games. Like, that's got to be painful for those guys on staff.
It is. Yeah, and I believe it to be. All right, before I let you go, UMass, East Tennessee, UAB, Western Kentucky, and these guys,
Austin Peay,
are playing SEC West teams this week here at the crescendo of the season. We're getting cupcake games, and it's so bad that an hour ago, Nick Saban, in his press conference, looking forward to this week's game,
Austin Peay
doesn't even know the name of the team that he's playing. It's Austin Peay, by the way. He called Austin Peay.
Austin Peay.
Austin Peay. You don't even know the name of the team. It's so bad you don't even know the name of the cupcake. And he sat there and spent 3 minutes talking about their quarterback and their running back, and they do this well and they do that well. And you don't even know who the hell they are. Should we have these cupcake games at the end of the season like this?
Nope. I'd rather have a bye. I'd rather these teams have a bye. And I would hope that once we get a more expanded SEC with Oklahoma and Texas, that we start flattening out on these types of games. Because, if the SEC is really about putting building the elite conference and making the most money, these crummy games are just throwaway, depressing exhibition games late in the year. And the fact that all of these games in November mean so much and that football playoff spots swing on them and conference championship games swing on them. And then, as you said, you have all these joke teams coming in this weekend. It's depressing. I think it's probably the worst thing the SEC do it, but specifically the SEC. The fact that this is like homecoming week with exhibition across the conference, I hate.
Yeah, well, and it was born from back when I think it was Commissioner Slive or maybe it was Greg Sankey. They took away the bye before rivalry week. They said, well, no more byes before rivalry week. So this is what we ended up with. We ended up with all of the Big Ten's not doing this. The ACC doesn't do this. You know, the penultimate week of before all of these games, and we're getting a bunch of garbage in the SEC this week. It just it bothers me. All right, be careful on your trip home back to downstate, and I appreciate you doing this.
Anytime, big dog. Appreciate it, man. We'll talk.
All right, thank you. Good job by him. He owed me when I was on his show when Brian Harsin was fired. So I was on his show. The difference is his show is national coast to coast on CBS Sports Radio, and my show is from Cullman to Scottsboro. All right, we'll get a break. When we come back, we'll set you up for hour number 2, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures well below where we should be in mid-November. Highs only climbing into the mid-50s, dropping into the upper 30s and lower 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Tuesday morning. Showers, maybe even a couple of isolated thunderstorms build into the Tennessee Valley Monday night, early Tuesday morning. A lot of that activity is going to stick with us in some capacity through the Tuesday morning commute. Might I suggest allowing yourself a couple of extra minutes. Looks like the vast majority of that activity is going to be out of here by the time we get to the lunch hour. Temperatures climbing just into the upper 40s and lower 50s, dropping into the mid-30s through the overnight, early Wednesday morning. Mostly cloudy sky Wednesday afternoon, temperatures hanging out just in the mid and upper 40s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The best local sports talk with the best in college football. A perfect combination. Hi, this is Chris Stewart. Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We got that coming up a little bit later on with John Samuel Shanker.
Like a teaser.
Oh, I see. God's Country is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford for all your service needs. It's Woody Anderson Ford. I mean, you don't need to go anywhere else other than Woody Anderson Ford for all of your vehicle needs. And don't forget the certified gold pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson Ford as well. All right, coming up in the next segment of the show, we are wide open, okay? So if you were on the phone and we didn't get you in, now is the time to get in, all right? So jump aboard, 256-576-4977. It's your reaction time on a Reaction Monday. I have buku notes here. My stream of consciousness notes from watching football Saturday and Sunday. Go ahead and get in if you'd like. It's the Thom Abraham Show right here on your home for everything. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, my name is Jackie, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A peppermint chip milkshake is the whipped cream and the cherry on top. It's like a little bow on top of this great present of peppermint chip goodness. It tastes like the holidays.
Hey, my name is Chandler, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A peppermint chip milkshake is the little pieces of the peppermint that you get. For me, no milkshake is topping the peppermint chip milkshake.
Order a Chick-fil-A peppermint chip milkshake on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Sports. I'm Kevin Winter. There is a new number one seed in the AFC. There's a new division leader in the AFC East. In Buffalo, the Vikings win their 7th in a row, all one-score games, by the way. They go to 8-1, take a wild one from the Bills, 33-30, in a game that had more twists and turns than some highways. Josh Allen turned the ball over 3 times, including fumbling a snap in his own end zone with 41 seconds to go. Bills dropped to 6-3, a game back of the Chiefs in the loss column. Kansas City beats Jacksonville 27-17. And after Miami beat Cleveland, Buffalo is a half game back of the Dolphins in the AFC East. Packers rally to beat the Cowboys in overtime, 31-28, snap a 5-game losing streak. Jeff Saturday wins his head coaching debut. The Colts beat the hapless Raiders 25-20. Raiders are an absolute mess with a record of 2-7. NBA last night, Joel Embiid, 59 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 7 blocks. Steelers with the win over the Jazz. No, that's the Sixers.
November in Alabama means one thing.
Alabama and this SEC football arch rival meet in the Iron Bowl.
The Iron Bowl.
What is Arkansas?
Nope. Listen for full coverage of the Iron Bowl right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Correct response, what is Auburn?
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby.
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. This segment of the show is brought to you by the Orthopedic Center. That's right. At the Orthopedic Center, they got everything that, well, they can take care of you no matter what part of the body you get hurt. All right? Every part of the body that gets hurt, they can take care of at the Orthopedic Center. They're there for you. And whether it's a neck, a foot, an arm, a leg, whatever it is, they've got it covered at the Orthopedic Center. All right, phone lines are open. We got legends stacked up on top of each other, and we're going to start with Grumpy. Grumpy, welcome to the show. How are you?
Pretty good. I'll try to be brief. I know you got the best caller and the third best caller on hold. Hey,
wait a minute. How do you know who's on hold?
I heard it over the. You can hear it over the hold.
Oh, you can. Oh, they can hear you talking to me, Grizz?
I can hear.
Wow. I didn't know they could hear us. Got to be careful when that happens. Yeah. All right. So go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, you harped on Texas having an 11-point spread over TCU this weekend. Now that TCU beat Texas in Texas by 7 times as many points as Alabama did, are you a TCU believer?
It was one of the 3 most surprising results of the weekend for me. It definitely gave me a second pause on TCU, and Baylor got their head handed to them. I thought between Texas and Baylor they would have to lose a game, but now with Baylor getting whacked like that, now I think TCU is going to go to Baylor and win that game.
I would like to put in a request. I know you guys can't solve them all, but if there's any way we could get the Hartzell game on one of the zones this weekend, that'd be great.
Why is everybody asking about the Hartzell game being on the zone?
Because they're undefeated. They're undefeated.
No, they're fantastic. There's no doubt about it. I so enjoyed watching them play. But there's somebody, unless it was you, there's somebody else that's been calling and saying, Hartzell, put Hartzell on this week.
I had mentioned it, but they said they had 2 other requests for it. Whoever I think maybe it sounded like Captain Cool, but I think there's several people. I don't want to put any pressure. If you can't do it, you can't do it. I realize you can't do it.
I don't know why we couldn't do it. Really.
I'm just saying. And you got so many zones now. I tuned into one zone this weekend, and it was just music playing, and it went on forever. I don't think there was a program. It sounded like Lawrence Welk. It sounded like Lawrence Welk.
That's a problem. What would you remember which one it was?
3. I think it was 3. I was just checking out what was on, trying to find the Hartzell game, but whatever, man. You guys do a great job. I'm not complaining. You guys,
but I'm concerned that there was something else on the Zone 3 other than if it was like unless there was play-by-play, it should have been ESPN Radio. I don't know why there would be music on Zone 3. That's weird.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Hang on, I got to make a note. I'm making my notes for tomorrow's meeting, Chris. Hang on. Chris, do you know why there was music on Zone 3?
Oh, God. To be honest with you, it's probably Steve playing something to kind of keep the Comrex going. Maybe it was during the UH broadcast, maybe. And it was probably just something to keep on the feed while it was going, instead of taking over the zone.
I'm going to ask him what time of day it was or what day it was. Yeah. Like during the Alabama game, wouldn't the Alabama be on all of the feeds? Right?
It should. If all of them took it over, because if not, if they took over, if it still has the same, whatever the address was on that one, it'd probably something different.
Right.
That's our talk.
Music would be weird. Yeah, we don't play music. I mean, sometimes we play music. Did you hear the fans? I'm not a fan of these Germany games or these European games.
Yeah.
Did you hear the fans in Germany at that stadium singing? Listen. That's not a good one. I'm going to have to find a better one. They're playing. They were singing in English. Country Homes, take me home, Country Homes or Country Roads. They were singing
John
it.
Denver, come on now.
I know they were singing it. Drug addict. Let's see if this one's any better.
Yes, this is singing John Denver as one. This is awesome. This is literally listen to this.
I got chills here Nick. And they're singing in English.
Well, yeah, the majority of them are
expats.
Yeah, they're armies. They're army guys or something. They're people that moved over there.
I want to think that there are a bunch of German people singing in English.
They don't really have that many stationed over there nowadays because, obviously they don't need to be. But yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of American families that have.
Well, there are people that work over there. And,
definitely.
It's not far to go there from other European countries. But I thought that was so cool.
That's cool.
And they said they were serenading Tom Brady. How do we know they're serenading Tom Brady? They could just be serenading the U.S., the game, whatever. But they were singing Country Roads, Take Me Home. But what that is quintessential. We need to do that in the U.S. The problem is we're so into the games, we can't. But what that is quintessential European soccer fan.
Yes.
That's what they do because they got nothing to do. The game sucks. So they just cheer and they sing songs and they do stuff like that because there's nothing else to do. They stopped. They handed off on that play when they were singing it. They handed off and the guy went like 30 yards on the run and everybody stopped singing and started cheering because there was actual action going on the field. But
do it in baseball all the time. Go to other countries. They do it in baseball all the time. Have a band in the crowd for baseball. I don't care. Bring a local band from a high school and have a band in there playing the whole time during a baseball game. And I guarantee you people will get into it.
I don't like them European games. I don't like that they do that. But that I thought was very cool.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for the soccer chants for HCFC? There's going to be some Huntsville City soccer chants. You know it. They're going to take
next year.
It's going to be great.
Yeah,
you get some of those on.
They don't play in the fall. Yeah, that'll be at another time. I don't know what they will be chanting, but I don't know. All right, back to the lines. Wait. In the order of the longest wait, Wolverine Dan is next. Wolverine Dan, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, doing quite well. Let me tell you about that John Denver song. We were in Ireland several years ago, and a lot of the pubs that played a trad session with the violinist and the harmonica and the looks like a tambourine, but it's actually a drum. They played that song almost in every one of those pubs.
Yeah, Grumpy just sent a thing, said that John Denver is huge in Europe, which is weird. I mean, I don't know why, but so maybe that's their song because their music isn't very good either. Ever since the Beatles, I don't think they have anybody else that's any good. So they have to sing John Denver's "Take Me Home, Country Roads," West Virginia, because they don't, and he's dead. You know what I mean? I mean that's a 50-year-old song, and he's dead. So I don't know.
Well, also wanted to thank Grumpy for mentioning the first and the third best callers. I appreciate that.
Which do you think he meant was first, and which do you think he meant was third?
Of course, it's me. Come on, be realistic.
Okay. All right, I don't know. I'm just saying
Philip, I have seniority on Philip. I've been doing this as soon as you walked in this place. Okay, so I go back a long way. All right, he's on a Wing Bowl champ. you know, you can't bring him in at back alley as your backup because Phillip couldn't beat himself out of a white paper bag.
True.
So, all right. So let's talk a little
He
bit.
could hire somebody, though. Phillip could hire a hitman. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about. You said cupcakes. See, I thought Bama doesn't play cupcakes. You keep saying I play cupcakes.
I say they play cupcakes. They don't play cupcakes in their own conference, but they play cupcakes. They definitely play, 2 a year, 3 a year. They play 3 cupcakes a year. I hate it. The problem is with Michigan is their whole schedule is cupcakes. You know what I mean? They got nothing.
I knew you were going to do that.
It's true. They got Penn State, Ohio State, and nobody else.
All right, here we go. And with that said, let's talk about Michigan Wolverines. All right, Corum, another 100-plus yards, me 135-40, and a TD. He's got to be in New York. There's no doubt about it. If he doesn't show up, it's a travesty. And you think about it, 2 back-to-back years of Heisman Trophy candidates, with the big guy, the defensive end for Michigan, Hutchinson, and we're going to have Corum in there. So let's talk about the last 5 games. Speaking of the last 5 games, Michigan, we've outscored them in the second half 134-6. I'm telling you, nobody gives us credit on this defense. This defense.
What are they doing in the first half, though? I don't understand that. What's going on there in the first half?
You know what? The defensive coordinator is
just wondering.
He makes changes. Okay.
You got one good game in there. You got Penn State in there. You got Indiana, Penn State, Michigan State, Rutgers, and Nebraska. They all suck except for Penn State. You got one good game in there.
All right. Okay. So let's move on to the Pro Bowl. You said you're going to laugh at the end of the year. You're not laughing now. All right, because Minnesota's the real deal. Okay. I can't believe this team. It's cardiac kids. They got nuclear warheads bombing people at the end, and bringing the game back and everything. Unbelievable, Tom. And you know what? I know who you got on after me. And I'm going to tell you right now, how about those Cowboys? You know what?
How about the Packers?
No, Phillip. No, Phillip. You're still going to play Philadelphia one more time. I think maybe 2. I know for sure New York Giants are going to play him 2. I'll say, how about those Cowboys all the time? Keep beating up on Philadelphia, so I get a first-round bye, baby.
How come you're not talking about the fact
$1,000 is going to be a lot shorter?
How come you're not talking about the fact that the Lions beat the Bears, man? I mean, I thought you were going to talk about the Lions 2 in a row.
No, it doesn't matter. The Lions are playing for draft choice.
No, apparently not. They're screwing themselves out of a good pick. They keep winning games.
Hey, I'm not the coach, okay? So last year they were 3-6. This year they might be 6-6. But guess what? That's called improvement. Plus, we still traded for draft choices because they got Hawkinson in Minnesota, and he's on fire, for crying out loud. Tom, when you do something wrong like that, and she takes the $100 bill, I'm thinking, oh, this is ridiculous. I'm just blew away 100. Maybe not, Tom. And you know what? Even if I win this thing, it's fun. It's fun because I got a horse in the race. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's good. I mean, they're a look in the NFC right now too. I mean, they are a live wire right now. If they can, I mean, they got they're one game, a half a game behind Philadelphia, depending on what happens with Philadelphia tonight. Then nobody else. I mean, Seattle, Tampa Bay, the Giants, Dallas, and San Francisco are all way back. So they're either going to be a 1 or a 2. I mean, that's it. I mean, they're right there at the top.
Well, it was a great trade for the Hutchinson. I mean, Hawkinson, I should say. He's done real well. He's caught a ton of passes. And that catch from Jefferson, Tom, that was spectacular. I couldn't believe. Yeah. And, maybe the Tyree might have been better because that is the Super Bowl. But this Jefferson catch is pretty damn close second just because it was it was 4th and 18, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was better than the Odell catch because it was contested. The Odell catch is just Odell by himself falling backwards and sticking it and catching it with one hand. That's a great catch. But this catch is contested. He pulls this thing down. I mean, it's ridiculous. By the way, did you guys see the Notre Dame guy? Did you see the catch that the Notre Dame kid had against Navy, where he reached around the guy like Tyrone Protro, and then he with one hand pulled the ball around the other? It looked like a magic trick. Did you see that play? It looked like a magic trick.
Yeah, I saw it. Hey, listen, one more thing. And at the Michigan game, we had a celebrity. Flavor Flav was there. What does that tell you?
Who, Flavor Flav? Flavor Flav?
Yeah.
Was there?
Yeah. Listen, Grumpy, thanks for the compliment. It's good being number one. See you guys later.
Who's Flavor Flav?
You don't know who Flavor Flav is?
I
guy that wears the
I've heard
clock
of him.
around his neck, and he did the show where like they tried to
Flavor
like
Flav.
find him a woman and all this other stuff.
He doesn't do Hoop Where It Is, right? Hoop Where It Is. That wasn't that guy?
No, I'm not
Scoop
sure on that.
Where it, you know, the guys that do Scoop.
forgot what
Where
it is.
It Is.
I forgot
The
what it
guys
is.
from the commercial. You know,
Oh,
they
no,
did that
no,
commercial with-
no.
with
That's
the
no.
Scoop, there it is.
That wasn't
Scoop. No?
No,
Flavor
that's
Flav?
not- that's not
I don't
Flavor
know.
Flav.
I don't know no rappers. You know who digs rap music is Philip. Philip's into the rap music. Let's see what Philip has to say. Philip, welcome to the show. How are you?
A little angry. Not the reason
Should be.
I called, so I'm going to make this really quick. There's fantastic video of the late, great Don Williams, one of my favorite all-time top three. He played Africa a lot, and African people. I'm talking African people singing right along with Don Williams songs in concert.
That's cool.
It's great.
Yeah.
Break Cowboys. I am so sick of it. Dak Prescott, you suck. The offensive coordinator, you suck. You stupid moron. I don't know why you think you got to throw the ball constantly. You're up by 14 freaking points on the road in the second half, and you're throwing the ball. Go. What an idiot. And don't get me started on that fat, stupid, waste of crap head coach we got on the freaking sideline. What an idiot. I am sick of this.
They had 2 touchdown lead.
Don't get me started on the freaking referees that start calling phantom holding calls when Dallas has the ball to start off the overtime. That was not a holding call. And there was some other stupid phantom call. And then when the fat idiot called the 4th down play in overtime, freaking who's my 88 now, Lamb, CD Lamb, the freaking Green Bay Packer was raping him from behind before the ball got there. His feet were off the ground. His arms were around Lamb's neck, literally riding on him before the ball got there. But the refs don't see that. What?
They swallowed the whistles late.
Struggling.
I thought they swallowed the whistles late. There was no doubt about that. They let him play.
I'm so fed up with Jerry Jones. Just die.
Yeah, but if he dies, then the kid takes over. Do you think Steven knows any more than Jerry? Do you think he'd be be better than Jerry?
I don't know. It's all I can hope for. Maybe they die together. Maybe they'll die together.
He won't be the general manager, right? I don't think Steven would be the general manager of that deal. My son walked into the room during the game, and he said, "Why isn't the other kid playing at quarterback?" Where'd he go? Yeah, he said, why isn't the other kid playing? I said, because Dak's healthy. You don't pay a guy $40 million a year. He says he's throwing interceptions all over the place. I said, I know, but you're not going to play Cooper Rush over Dak Prescott. You know.
If Dak had any freaking sense, which I'm just determining, he's a nice guy. He's a solid, straight-up dude. But, dude, you're an idiot. As a quarterback, if your offensive coordinator is telling you pass, you should have the kahunas to go to him and say, you're a freaking idiot. No, we're going to run the ball. Let's focus on winning the game. How about that? Let's do that.
They ran it.
It's just bullshit constant, year after year after year after year after year. I doubt we'll make the freaking playoffs again.
They called 27 run plays and 50 pass plays. 50 pass plays and 27 run plays in a game that they led by 14 in the second half. That makes sense. That makes sense. The Packers only threw it 20 times. Aaron Rodgers was yelling at the coach, "Look, we're going to run the ball." He checked out of some passes. He said, "We're going to run the ball," because Jones had 138 yards. Dillon had another 65 yards. Packers ran it for 5.3 yards a carry.
What was it? What happened to the defensive coordinator? He had a freaking bye week. I didn't even hear number 11's name the whole freaking game.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Some of that Dan Quinn guy?
To our defense.
Dan Quinn. Yeah, they did a good job taking him Parsons out of it a little bit. They took him out a little bit. But Dak, he's got a good he gets good rest on his sleep number bed. He does do that.
Yeah. I'd like to give him some good rest.
You want him to die too?
Sleep number bat over the freaking head. I'm sick of this. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's stupid. We're like the freaking Lions. Yeah, Michigan Danica, I just said that, or Wolverine Danica, whatever. We're as bad as the freaking Lions.
No, you're not as bad as the Lions.
Dolphins.
You're not as bad as the Lions. I mean, you're in better shape than that. You're 6-3. The Lions are like 3-6.
We will not make the playoffs yet again. And for some reason, again, week 10, 9 games, heart of Redskins country. I ain't had to go to a sports bar yet to watch them. Because for some reason, people are just fascinated with the Cowboys sucking. Jerry Jones ain't going to stop being Jerry Jones until Jerry Jones don't get multiple Sunday night games and multiple Monday night games and
but he will.
All that crap and always being on the late afternoon game of the week. Take that crap away from him because he doesn't deserve it. And that's hard for me to say, but I'm freaking pissed. They suck so bad.
All right.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Feel a little better now? I mean, you got that off your chest? Look, they're at the Vikings next week. Going to lose that game probably. 4:25 the Eastern. They got a feature game at the Vikings. Then Thanksgiving Day at home against the Giants. That's a win. All right, so to be 6-4 after the Viking game, 7-4. Then they're home against the Colts, 8-4. Then they're home against the Texans, 9-4. Then they're at the Jags, 10-4. Home to the Eagles. Even if they lose it, they're 10-5. They're at the Titans. They're going to be in Nashville. And then they're at Washington. They're going to make the playoffs. Don't worry about it. They're a wild card. They'll make the playoffs. I wonder if he's got his tickets yet. You got your tickets yet for the Washington game at Washington? I mean, you're so close to there.
We actually might be going. Yeah.
There you go.
Me and my cousin are thinking about going.
There you go. All right. It's a good job by you, Philip. Relax now. I don't want you to have a heart attack on the air. That would suck.
All right.
See it. We'll end up burying the Philip before we bury Jerry and Stephen Jones. I want that to happen. We get a break. When we come back, the Auburn captain, John Samuel Schenker. Great to talk to him off a win. We'll do that next right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
NFL Eagles hosting the Commanders tonight to close out Week 10. Washington an 11-point dog on the road, 43.5 the total. The Eagles looking to go to 9-0 on the season. Week 11, the Falcons favored by 3 points at home against the Bears Sunday, and the Saints -3 at home against the Rams. College basketball, 2 SEC games tonight. Georgia a 12.5-point favorite over Miami of Ohio, and Florida -13 at home against FAU. NBA tonight, the Hawks at 8-5 on the season on the road to face the Bucks. Atlanta a 4-point underdog in Milwaukee, 225.5 the over-under, 7 p.m. tip-off. Red Hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwiners.com.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Football season is here, and as always, the best place to catch every game is downtown at Humphreys Bar and Grill. Humphreys is celebrating by bringing back their game day football specials. $2.75 Miller Lite, Coors Light, Yingling, and $3.50 Yellowhammer Gold Pints. $4 Fireball shots. Anytime football is on. And don't forget football trivia every Sunday night at 6. The best place to catch all the games all season long is downtown at Humphreys Bar and Grill.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing, helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit AVIQHSV.com.
New message. Hey, girlfriend, it's Carol from jury duty. We never actually spoke, but I saw you ordered the same hoagie as me at lunch. What are the chances? Anywho, I heard you just got a boat. We should totally grab some hoagies and take it out for a spin.
When you get a boat, you also get new friends. Make sure Progressive's one of them and get coverage today for as little as $100 a year.
Do I want to feel the wind in my hair? Guilty as charged. Oh, seriously, let's ride on your boat.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy not available in all states.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Electric cars are coming faster than you think, and that's why we're bringing SEMA Connect to Alabama.
Our team educates you and helps provide a long-term plan for your business. Where to put them, how to get them there, how to pay for them, tax incentives, service, and monitoring. We take care of everything.
Doing the right thing means bringing EV car chargers to Alabama. Let us help you with your EV charging plan.
Listen to Madison Academy football all season long.
And it is covered up by the Mustangs in the end zone. Touchdown Madison Academy. Touchdown Madison Academy.
On 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This is the Thom Abraham Show with the Auburn Tigers captain, tight end John Samuel Schenker.
Wide open in the end zone.
Presented by Valley Equipment Rental.
Yes, it's why they call it God's country. I saw the light in a sunrise, sitting back in a 40 on the muddy riverside, getting baptized in holy water and shine with the dogs running. Saved by the sound of a...
And welcome back to Tom Abraham Show. This segment of the show brought to you by Valley Equipment Rental, because that cool open could tell you that it's only one thing. It's John Samuel Schenker. And at Valley Equipment Rental, let me just tell you this right now. You got a job to get done. You know, the college football season's getting ready to wrap up the regular season just a couple of weeks after Thanksgiving, another week. And then, boom, I mean, we're ready to go and get some of these jobs done around the properties and so on. So you need Valley Equipment Rental. They do a tremendous job at Valley Equipment Rental, and they make sure that you've got the equipment you need to get the job done like a pro. Ross Roberts and his team are great supporters of the show. They always have been, and they brought us John Samuel Schenker all season long. And Schenk joins us now here on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. John Samuel, welcome back. How are you?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic after, 5 long weeks. It's nice to talk after a win, huh?
Yes, that was an awesome one, too. Just the environment in the air in Auburn, Alabama on Saturday was awesome. And, yeah, I'm really happy to talk about a win this week.
And it seemed like the crowd stayed with you. You know what I mean? There's been a lot. Obviously, it's been a tough year. But, you know, that crowd, those supporters, they really have stayed with the team throughout. And I know you guys feel that on the field.
We do. And, I think a big piece of it is Coach Lack and, the respect he has here in Auburn. And what he did when he was here. And I think people respond to that really well, and you could see that in the way that the fans came out and the way that we play the game now, and just a lot of excitement here in Auburn lately.
Yeah, it is a lot of excitement, and you guys in this game, basically building a 10-0 lead, led 13-3 late. They kind of chip in a late one there to to make it look more respectable, 13-10. But it didn't feel like that the game wasn't even as close as the final score indicated.
Yeah, on the offensive side, we really shot ourselves in the foot late and early. We were driving the ball a lot. We had like 200 rushing yards in the first half, but we just would shoot ourselves in the foot when we get down past the 40, and so that we'll have to work on that. But our defense played really well, and yeah, we never really thought like they had a chance just with the way that the game was going, and they really had nothing going on offense there for really most of the game. So we felt like we were in control for most of that.
I mean, you ran the ball 55 times in the game, and I know you love the block, which is great about you. You're a very unselfish player. You love the block, but it'd be nice to catch a pass or two here. Only 6 of 13 passing for Robbie, 60 yards in the game. Have you lobbied to them and say, I can run a little reverse? I mean, you could always have a little misdirection and then hand it to me coming around the other way. I can get 6 yards, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, or like a tight end, pass, put me back, let me throw it or something, just a little different. Do something like I did a few weeks ago where
you're a quarterback,
the ball in the center and pitch it. Yeah, so there's always opportunities that we could do, and but yeah, we knew, especially after the first half, we were so successful on the ground.
Yeah,
there was no reason to get away from it, obviously. Now the second half it was harder. They made adjustments and things like that, but. For the most part, we knew that, we were successful early, so we were going to stay with it for most of the game.
I don't want to say it was a balanced rushing attack, but Tank and the Hunter kid both had 121 yards rushing net. So, I mean, that's pretty balanced. Now, Hunter only had 13 carries, so he got it done averaging over 9 yards per carry. That kid is like shot out of a cannon when he hits the ball. He hits the hole hard.
Oh, yeah. He has really no care for his body once he hits the hole. It's really impressive to watch. He's a great running back. We have a great duo back there. So, definitely fun to watch those guys and play with those guys.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And defensively, those guys certainly doing their part, really kind of holding Texas A&M down to next to nothing. I mean, it's kind of stunning to watch how ineffective really A&M is. A lot of it has to do with your defense. Some of it has to do with them, though. I mean, what a mess that program seems to be right now.
Yeah, they just, playing against them, they're very chippy, and they just don't seem like they play together. I don't know what's going on in their locker room back in at their school, but it's just, there's a lot of things going on there, and I really think part of that is NIL has affected them greatly. You get all these great guys, but they may feel entitled in some ways because they got all this money, and they were told how great they were, and then they get here and they have to play, and so I think it's just I think it's tough for them right now, and so I can't really imagine what it's like over there.
I mean, what you've played them 5 times. I mean, has it does it seem different than it did the last couple of years? When you played them.
Yeah, now their talent. They still have talent. It's just they're not playing together. They're not playing super hard for each other like they used to. I mean, last year when we played them, it was a big game, and you could tell that they played together and they just wanted to win and win for A&M. And now it doesn't seem like that. So. I think they have some issues. They're also super young, so obviously, lots of growth in that in the future if they stick around.
Have you? How have you guys dealt with NIL in your own locker room? I mean, I don't know that you got any one guy that's just way out in front of everybody else, but we know that over at Alabama, the quarterback's making probably a couple of million right now in NIL stuff, but. How have you guys dealt with it and not made it a factor in terms of, how it's affected your play?
Yeah, well, most of the NIL stuff is pretty personal for guys. They have their own things individually. So, what guys do in their personal business really doesn't affect us. And we just try to keep it that way. And, if we see some guy got a new NIL deal, we'll, just talk to him about it and kind of give him a hard time about how much money he's got now and all this stuff. Just, It keep it light because it's awesome to see, but at the same time, it's really not something that should separate a locker room. What individuals are doing and the success that they're having on and off the field.
Well, let's talk a little bit. John Samuel Schenker with us, captain of Auburn football on the offensive side of the ball as a tight end, one of the captains for sure. Let's talk about Coach Cadillac Williams. I mean, that dude. There was one time Hunter was going down the sideline and Cadillac's running right with him. I mean, he's just like wide open, running down the sideline with him. He's jumping around. He's a bit fidgety. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he has got to be bringing a lot of energy to everybody.
Man, he is. He's like one of the players. Just how he loves the game and loves Auburn, and the way that he plays with us around at practice and things like that. Like, he just loves being around the game and. You see that on Saturdays, really animated, super competitive, and you can see that really any play if you look over there on the sideline.
Does he have is he got a go-to in his speech? I mean, does he got a good speech pregame and halftime? Has he got like a tell that you guys know that he's always going to go to? What's the story with him in terms of when he's addressing the entire team?
Yeah, our 3 things right now are serve, discipline, and belief. That's what he wanted from us.
Mm-hmm.
To serve each other, to believe, and to have discipline when we do that. And so those are 3 things that he talks about week in and week out. And then he talks about our why. And this past weekend he had a lot of his former teammates there in the locker room to support him as his first game as a head coach at home, and he made us turn around and see that and see 20 years down the road these guys are still in your lives and your why is for the guy next to you. So he has some great messages and great insight as to what it's like down the road and to play for those guys now.
And I would believe that in the case of somebody like you, who will be getting set to go off to the NFL at some particular point in time, he's got to be a great resource, right? For you guys that have NFL potential and could end up at the combines and in the draft process and the agents and all of that, to have a guy like that at the head of the program that played in the NFL for so many years and had success, that's got to be valuable.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We have a good bit of guys on the staff that are former NFL guys, and they talk to us all the time about it. And if you want to do that, here's what you have to do and have to expect of yourself when you go. And so yeah, we have a lot of great insight, and he does as well. And he fought through some injuries in the league as well. So it is a valuable resource for us to have, especially if that's what you want to do in your future.
So you've got Senior Day coming up with against Western Kentucky. You want to go out there. You want to represent. Certainly, Mom and Dad will be out there. Have you thought at all about what that's going to be like walking out onto Jordan-Hare Stadium for a final time?
I thought about it a little bit this past Saturday. That environment, we probably won't have that again.
Right.
It is Western Kentucky, and it is Thanksgiving break. A lot of people go home and things like that. So I really soaked it in this past weekend as well. Just the environment may not be the same, and that'll be my last real big environment in Jordan-Hare. But I haven't really thought much about this weekend yet. As far as the feeling that'll be, I'm sure it'll be a unique feeling that you can't really understand until you're there. So. But definitely a special moment, and you want to go out on top as well.
Now, your wife Ann, she graduated last year, or 2 years ago, right? I mean, she graduated a couple of years ago. Is that right?
May 2021, so about a year ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Or a year and a half.
Year and a half. Well, your class. You've already graduated, and then now you're getting this second degree, though, right? Are you going to get this other degree?
Yep, I'll wrap that up in the spring. Just got one more class I got to take, and I'll get my second degree in the spring.
Do you think that the baseball team will have you come out for Senior Day over there too, maybe, or what? I mean, you go to the Senior Day game, they might call you out, say, "Hey, Shank, get out here, man! You played 2-3 years with us."
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to talk about that in the spring. I don't know if I'd ask about it, but I'll definitely be over there in the spring some because I'll have some time. So I'll definitely be able to see those guys at least during the year.
I think they need to give you a couple of at-bats. Yeah, DH a little bit. Maybe just get in there, get a couple of at-bats. And hey, look, the new AD's a baseball guy, right? I mean, that's kind of cool, right? You got to see a baseball guy get that gig. That's a little bit neat. Have you had any interaction at all with him?
I have not yet. He was obviously there at the game, but I think he's got a lot going on, a lot on his plate right now. So hasn't been talking a whole lot with us yet. But I have seen him a few times. But I know he's super busy right now. So not much to expect there yet.
Yeah. All right. And then back to Cadillac for a second. Does he? You guys meet obviously in your team in your own room in your position group room. You have, I would assume, you have offensive team meetings as well. Does he involve much in the team up meetings? I mean, do you see him with the chalk flying or with the whiteboard, or does he get much into the X's and O's, or does he stay out of that and let all the assistants handle that?
I think right now he's staying out of it for the most part. Obviously, he still helps with the running back when he can in practice and things like that. But I think for the most part, he lets the offensive guys just kind of do their thing. I don't think he touches it too much anymore. Just with everything that's on his plate, I think that's what was best for him to do.
When do you find out if you will get an invite to the Combine?
I think that's early January, if I'm not mistaken. Right after pretty much all the bowl games for most teams. I think that's when they send that out.
Have you been invited to the Senior Bowl?
No, I don't think we had our guys invited last week, so I did not make that. We had Derek Hall, Colby, Owen Papo, DJ James, Nehemiah Pritchett, and Echo Leota made it. So excited for those guys. That was awesome to see. They announced it after one of our practices last week.
I'm surprised you didn't get the invite for that. I don't know what seniors tight ends they got out there that are more productive than what you could be. And like I say, it'd be you watch those guys at Georgia. You see those tight ends over there. That Bowers kid at Georgia. Obviously he's outstanding. He's got at least another year to go before he comes out. And I mean, you look at an offense like that, and it wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad to be able to, be featured like that a little bit more.
Yeah. Those guys, they pretty much run 12 all game long.
Right.
Over there. That Washington guy that's like 6'8", I think he's coming out this year, so he'll be in this draft class. But yeah, they're fun to watch too. I enjoy watching guys that do it the right way. It's fun. And obviously Bowers is a great player as well. Super electric guy. So it's cool to see those guys and how they use them. I like to do that. I like to watch all the teams and see how they use tight ends differently in their game plans.
So LSU and Georgia in the SEC championship game, you play both of these people. Does LSU have a chance? I mean, is there any way LSU can win that game, or do you think Georgia boat races them?
Well, I think I'd be naive to think that LSU was the same team as we were when we played them early in the year. I think they're better than that now. I think LSU has played near perfect to win. Just with the personnel they have compared to Georgia, I don't know if they match up too well. Really, Georgia's offense versus LSU's defense, I don't know if they match up great. So I would say Georgia probably by 3 scores, maybe 17-21. You never know. Obviously, LSU, they're winning football games. They're doing something right, but I just think Georgia's above everyone else in the SEC right now.
You could have beat those guys. The Alabama fan is like, you could have beat them, for God's sakes. If you'd have beaten them, you know what I mean, then the Alabama folks would have a chance to get to the SEC championship game. But what was that, 21-17, something like that in your building? You had a shot at them.
Yeah. So it's, the SEC seasons, man, everyone beats everybody. It's so hard. And so, anytime you make it there, obviously it's impressive. So we'll see. I don't know. LSU may do it. But I think they have to play really, really well. That Jaden Daniels guy, he's got to really ball out for them to win that game.
Would you like to see, as an SEC dude, it'll all be over with, for you, and after the Iron Bowl, but would you like to see Tennessee get in maybe as a second SEC team? I mean, assuming Georgia's going to win that game, Georgia would be in. Maybe Tennessee, if they can finish off 11-1. Is there a certain amount of pride for players to see 2 of the 4 teams would be SEC teams?
Yeah, I would love to see that. Obviously we believe we have the best conference. Honestly, tough is seeing Ohio State and Michigan. Whoever wins that game, obviously, is probably in. They'll probably win their conference after that. So then you got to worry about that. And, TCU, if they remain undefeated, which I don't think they will, but if they do, then you got a one loss Michigan, 1 loss Tennessee, and how do you differentiate those two? And but I would love to see Tennessee in it. I think they're deserving. I think they're a great team. They responded well in the game against Missouri, putting up outrageous numbers.
It's a good Missouri defense. I mean, what are they doing putting up 700 yards and 66 points on that Missouri defense? It don't make any sense. But,
I agree. I think they're really good. And, in a neutral site, you never know. I mean, playing in Athens is tough, and they did dominate that game. But when you play a team the second time, it's tough to beat them twice. So,
yeah.
I would be intrigued to see it if that happens.
John Samuel Schenker has been our guest. Schenk, I appreciate you. Have a great week. Get ready for Senior Day and go out there and ball out against Western Kentucky, get that 5th win, and then see what happens.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, man. Appreciate you. John Samuel Schenker. I didn't want to mention, they were up 17-0 against LSU. They could have finished that game off with you. All right, we'll get a break in here. We'll come back with more right after this. Phone lines go open. It's the Thom Abraham Show. Final segment next right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Hello, this is Kerry Rosenblum Realty, and we're part of that MA family. It's great to see football season back in, and we're at Rosenblum Realty trying to take care of all your real estate needs, whether home buying or selling. We'd like for you to put our 64 years of experience to work for you. We have 4-generation family ownership, and again, take a personal touch to taking care of your real estate needs. Call us at 256-539-9501 or rosenblumrealty.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Did you know the state's top-ranked private school is here in Huntsville? What about one of the nation's few Orton-Gillingham Academy accredited schools? At Randolph School, our experienced teachers and coaches challenge and nurture students as they prepare for college and life. Our pre-K through 12 school includes Greengate School at Randolph, serving students with dyslexia. Parents, we know that you are your child's biggest advocate, and we invite you to explore your education options. Schedule a tour at randolphschool.net.
Here's something to get your tailgating in gear this football season. Brooks & Collier have the perfect selection of outdoor furniture for your dream backyard, and the biggest selection of grills from Big Green Egg, Traeger, Blaze, Memphis, and Montalpi. Football season is grilling season. Lucy and Ivy, they're just waiting on something to fall off the grill. And remember, you could qualify for 12 months deferred interest with Synchrony Bank. Brooks & Collier, 813 Meridian Street, and at brooksandcollier.com.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that His mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Listen to the North Alabama High School Scoreboard Show, presented by Woody Anderson Ford, each Friday night on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Watching the Ole Miss fans kind of bellyache about Dallas Turner giving Jackson Dart a little extra shove when he was getting off of him. Look, you don't need to be doing that. That's something the official talks to you about, but you can't be throwing a flag on that. I mean, come on. I mean, he's getting off the guy, gives him a little extra shot. It was no more than a love tap, really. I mean, I've seen less called. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen less called, but it was a sack on 4th and 8. There's a lot of emotion at that particular moment in time. I mean, come on. We don't need to be calling that. All right, a top of the hour text and tweets. Just taking a quick look at what you guys have been saying. Tom, are you hearing anything about Mike Groh or Adam Gase as the offensive coordinator at Bama next year? I know that Gase worked for Saban at LSU and Groh was at Bama for a while. Alabama has an offensive coordinator, don't they? I mean, they do have one. I didn't know the job was open. The job open? I don't think the job's open yet. No, I haven't heard any of that. Speculate as if the job's done. Tom, the fact that Jeff Saturday played at a high level, better than hiring somebody like Greeny. Jeff at least has football cred. Yeah. He has football cred. There's no doubt about it, but still, coach is coach. He doesn't have coaching cred. But they got that win. Tom, the Jefferson catch was aided by the defensive back. Jefferson had his hand on the side of the DB, had his hand on the other side. Why didn't the DB just swat it away? That's Kramer. Of course that's Kramer. Tough day for Kramer. All right, coming up next, the Paul Feinbaum Show, followed by Wes and Steve on the Drive on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.